final question is, are there any specific reading materials that you would suggest for someone interested in becoming an entrepreneur? Your favorite entrepreneur books or articles?
Well, I just said nothing to bring mine. This one is the 29% Solution. I don't know, has anybody heard of this book? It's a local author. Her name's Michelle Donovan and also Dr. Ivan Meisner. But it teaches you basically 52 weekly networking successes. So it's something to do every week of the year that's going to bring you more business. And she kind of talks about, or she does talk about giver's gain in this. So the more you give, the more that you're going to receive, just because that person wants to give you the business. So I think this is a great book, and this is what actually I'm going to sort of raffle off. We'll pick a name, and somebody is going to go home with this one tonight. And then the other one is The Secret Code of Success, which Sylvia introduced me to, and it's the 7 Hidden Steps to More Wealth and Happiness. And that one's by Noah St. John.
Where from that one too?
No.
No. That's mine. You'll have to get your own.
Right.
No, that book is based on where they're saying that affirmations that people use to try to get you going in any business, most of the time your brain doesn't accept affirmations in a statement. So this book is trying to tell you, turn it into a question, start with the word why in a positive format, and all of a sudden your brain will try to find the answer. And before you know it, you're doing things to get to the goals that you want to reach. It is really fantastic because it's not just for business. It's also for relationships. It's also for weight management. It's also, for personal life, period. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. And I love it, I live it, and I proved it to her because she didn't believe me. And we tried a couple things, and she goes, oh my God, and I started laughing, and I smiled. I said, I rest my case.
Yeah, that's a great book.
I went to the library, and there was a book, I think, like How to Start Your Own Business. I don't remember who wrote it, but that's where I started. And then I also had a friend who gave me a mock copy of a business plan. And so I just, from those two things, and I already had the skill from going to cosmetology school and just having the passion for it. And that's how I started. And then having a background in accounting as well. So I said, I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to mess up. So that's
Anything you pick up is going to be a learning experience.
Yeah.
It's all good.
There's actually a couple books. The first book is, I would say, the Bible, because there's nothing in life that you could ever need that's not in that book. If you're looking for direction for anything in life, it's in the Bible. And
Sorry.
Hallelujah.
I have a strong faith in God, and He just keeps me going. And He's kept me going throughout the years. Additionally, for real estate people, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I was ready to say that.
Was
That's the
an
one you told
excellent
me.
book because it changed my whole mindset, my whole thinking about real estate, about investing, just even about the whole working notion and, getting out of the rat race and, how to actually escape from, your day job. And
Cash flow quadrant.
Cash Flow Quadrant, excellent. Rich Dad Poor Dad is just a great book. For any investor, any real estate person, that's a must read.
It's not just for real estate. It's also for any business owners too.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the Art of the Start, I think it's by Dr. Maxwell, John Maxwell. And it's a good book for anyone looking to start a business. It really gives good direction for a business owner that's looking to start, and not just a business, nonprofit, anything you're looking to start. And lastly, the 4-Hour Work Week is an excellent book because it really teaches you how to kind of streamline your business and maximize your life while doing that.
Another one I would suggest too is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And he will actually go step by step on setting your goals, setting a plan, how to monitor your business to make sure you are reaching your goals. And also, it's not just for business, but also to fit it in your personal life. It's an excellent book.
All right. we have any questions? Any questions that I didn't ask? Yes, Amber?
I have a question. From the time that you conceptualized your business to the time that you got started, to the time that you felt comfortable actually stating that you're an entrepreneur, can you give us a time frame?
Months, weeks. Like, I think once I had in my mind that I'm tired of paying for the chair and I want to have my own, take all my money home. It was May when I decided I'm done. I opened my doors June 22nd, and while getting it ready, spreading the word. My own salon, telling the pure salons coming, and just I hit the ground running, and I never looked back.
I started my business in 2004 in my mind. I started it on paper in August of 2006. 2006 was actually before that. I think I bought the house. Actually, I think I even started my mind before '04. But the first house probably would have been 2005. I don't think I felt comfortable telling anyone until I was actually got into the restaurant business, which was after we bought a few food properties and then got into the restaurant. And if you go back and say I started in maybe 2003, got into the restaurant in, what's that, 2 years ago?
Which restaurant?
So about 5 years. 5 years before I felt comfortable even sharing anything. City of Bridges Cafe, Pittsburgh International Airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not in it anymore, but my partner is. So if you're passing through, stop by.
Nice name. I'm still finding my way to financial freedom. I launched mine in May of this year, so I'm still working full-time and taking baby steps into getting my business off the ground and putting, those steps into place so that, hopefully that will be my bread and butter at some point down the road. So I'm still working on it very hard.
Any other questions?
That's another one.
What was the biggest obstacles as far as financing to start off your businesses?
Just money, the opportunity came, there was a space that someone was going to have a salon, they changed their mind, so it was almost ready, but just not quite. So I didn't have a lot to start, so I took my $1,000 and I got paint, and I got the things that I could afford, and the equipment that I already had, and as I worked, I put more into it that way, so it was just a challenge of having the money to buy the dryers and different things on a more professional looking level. Like I had stuff that worked, but it wasn't. That pushed me to work harder to get that equipment faster to make it look more professional. So that was my issue, was just having a startup cost. But I didn't want to take a loan. I wanted to just do it, and I had to do it fast because I was sick of paying for the chair, like I said, and so I needed to get out.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
A challenge for me, even with the first thing I ever did was buying the first house, I had credit challenges. So I had to really go through a credit enhancement program to even position myself to buy the house. But that pretty much maxed me out. So it's like I can't go back to the bank and get more money. So I had to find another way. So I attracted investors. I began to put together a package of what I wanted to do, how you can make money with it, just basically everything detailed what the investor would make. And I began to sell that because I wasn't going to allow that one thing to stop me from doing this. So I was just going to find another way to get the money, and I looked at a lot of different things. I looked at higher interest loans. I ended up eventually going with investors, but I looked into everything from real high interest loans to to other people, and I talked to other people that was also in the business, and there were some things that you could do in real estate where you didn't need a lot of money, and I was going to start there. So I just really looked at all my different options, and ultimately the investor ended up being the one that worked out.
And for me, I'm very fortunate because I was given a really great opportunity and not needing a lot of money to start. My obstacle more is time. my company is cheerspittsburgh.com, and it's a website for you to go to looking for things to do, restaurants, hotels, spas, whatever it is that you're looking for here in the city of Pittsburgh. And so I thought, how am I going to juggle all of this? A full-time job that is 50, 60 hours a week, my son, who's 3 and a half, and then working on this at night and weekends. So that was really more my obstacle, was not necessarily money, but the time.
And my investor, not only did I give up, money, as far as what they would earn, but I also ended up partnering. So I gave up a percentage of the business as well. So I guess that's another option: partnership, investors, things like that.
Any other questions?
I have a comment more than a question. I just wanted to compliment you three on your endeavors and doing business. Obviously, is hard. Your stories are fascinating, and I just want to. I'm very impressed with it.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Mrs.
I just, for those who are afraid of people, not necessarily a people person, and with networking being one of the key things for your business, what are some of the things that you suggest to hurdle that fear?
I think you just have to put yourself out there. You have got to force yourself to go out. And you know what I would recommend, actually? Is go out with a buddy. If you don't like walking into a room by yourself, it terrifies you.
Come out with us.
Yeah.
It works.
Call me. I'll go with you.
Our group gets bigger and bigger.
It works. No, it
Buddy
really
system.
does. Yeah. And it's, and because I'll go out for a lot of my business colleagues and friends, and I'll sell for them. I'll take their business cards. I'll introduce them. We recently went to a networking event on the Gateway Clipper, for example, and I basically stood there for 2 hours introducing everybody. I didn't make a new contact that night, but I think that's really important. If you're afraid and you don't want to go out by yourself, take someone with you who's comfortable.
That's me, I'm shy.
I hear all your comments and you really talk from passion. So I think if you really believe in something you're doing, I have no problem rolling on, and for hours I can tell you what I do because I love what I do. And that definitely comes through in all of your stories as you're walking your walk and what you do.
Also, I would say one thing I did is I participated in leadership development programs. There's a lot of nonprofits that offer these programs. I talked about Coral earlier, but there's a lot of different programs, and they actually challenge you to do these types of things. You learn how to do them. They put you in environments where it challenges you to have to network. One thing I also learned about networking is not about how many people you meet. It's really about how many relationships you build. So you don't need to, pass your card out to everybody in the room. It's good to meet everyone, but really, if you make one good solid contact that night and follow up with it and really build it, that's better than another person passing out their card to 10 people. So it's really, folks start small. Start with something you feel comfortable with, maybe one person, and work on building that relationship with them, and then move on to the next person as opposed to trying to do the masses.
I think I would say, just speak to people. Like, it may start there, just saying hi to a stranger. Because I'm the person, I don't really go out. I don't have a lot of friends. So, again, like, networking was a challenge for me because if I didn't have the word of mouth from the clients that I already had, I would go online, like I said, use Facebook and different things. But I notice now that just even being more pleasant in your appearance and just being, like, you're approachable, just speaking to people starts it. You don't really have to go and, force a conversation. You can just say hello and it can come from that, So I would just say, just work on your appearance and being approachable and not looking standoffish, and that would open you up. Like, look open, be open to meeting people, and I think it would start there.
Just smile.
Smile, right.